Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Leadership Boy podcast. I'm Enrique Vince, my co-host, and today we're back in Florida, loving our guest today, a well-known camaraderie participant, mentor, good friend, and very good CFO. But Vince will introduce.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited. This is my mentor. I'm just using all the exclusivity there, but Phil Nahajewski is definitely here with us in the building, as they say, but he's a partner at the Florida CFO Group. And we just want to know more about this wonderful gentleman and what all he's doing. So Phil, good morning. Tell us a little bit about you.
Good morning, Vince and Enrique, and thanks for having me. I love your show. I'm a longtime financial executive, 30 years in corporate America, enjoying the glory days of the computer mainframe business in the 80s and cable TV in the 90s and 2000s. And then for the past decade, I've been kind of out doing my own thing, helping nonprofits, doing some mentoring, helping tech startups. And it was a couple of years ago when I was attending the Florida Venture Forum in St. Petersburg, Florida, that I met one of the partners in the Florida CFO Group. At that point in time, there were a dozen experienced CFOs that kind of had this mastermind group in Tampa, St. Pete, and they'd always been talking about maybe branching out to be a little truer to their Florida name, and they asked me if I would consider getting them launched in Orlando. And once I met the partners and understood what they're about, how they did business, I said, put me in, coach. It's been a great 2 years trying to get the Florida CFO Group brand established in Orlando. There's now 4 partners all in Orlando that are experienced CFOs that help small and mid-sized businesses grow, optimize, and protect their business. And it's been fun. I really appreciate the opportunity to get the brand awareness raised by being on your podcast. Thanks for having me.
Phil, it's a pleasure to have you. You know, we know you for your participation with all the veteran organizations here in Florida or Central Florida. But tell us a little bit more specifically about this Florida CFO Group. What are you guys about, and what are you doing?
Well, we help small and mid-sized businesses grow, optimize, and protect their business by providing experienced financial leadership. It's a really nice blend of supply and demand, because on the supply side, there's many of us, my generation, who've served as CFOs for bigger companies and full-time jobs, working the 60, 70-hour grind, get to the point where that kind of loses its lure. But when we spend as much time and energy building the knowledge base in our heads, it's kind of hard to unplug it. So I'm not alone. There's now 22 other partners that share this desire to continue to stay in the game by helping small and mid-sized businesses who can't afford us full-time, probably don't need us full-time. So we work for them on a fractional basis. Could be a day a week, could be a day a month, whatever fits their needs and their budget. And we go in and apply what we've learned as CFOs for bigger operations to basically apply the planning, the strategy, the metrics, the discipline, the kind of things that help corporate business succeed for years and years. We help small businesses get access to that with our skills.
Indeed, that's something every small and mid-sized business requires and needs, and I'm grateful for these gallant warriors coming in and giving us those tools and the wisdom to make sure we survive and thrive in our business. And speaking of surviving and thriving, how did the pandemic affect the Florida CFO Group?
Great question. There's 2 ways that it really provided wind in our sails. One is our business that we serve felt some financial pressures, experienced some dangers of perhaps having to shut down. the government scrambled to get their plans in place, the PPP, EIDL, ERTC, that alphabet soup. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but there's probably no one more familiar with us than one of the partners in the Florida CFO Group, Carl Folletta, who's on the advisory board of the SBA, and has been so gracious about helping the rest of the partners know how to move quickly to get these, in some cases, business saving funds into the accounts of the business owners who just needed something to rescue them until the economy would recover. So those are the businesses that worked with a partner in the Florida CFO Group probably did better than most businesses in getting access to those funds. I think the other way it really provided wind in our sails is that, as you all know, the world changed. It became less of you work in my building full time, and or you're not on a team. The mindset's kind of faded away to working through remotely via Zoom or coming in on an occasional basis. And that, I think the whole mindset of business owners realizing that you shouldn't limit yourself just to the talent that's willing to come to your office every day has made business realize that the fractional CFO or fractional C-level executives can be an empowering solution for them. So I think that we've been a beneficiary of that mindset shift, because that's what we're about. We like to help small and mid-sized businesses on a fractional or interim basis.
Well, it's yeah, definitely that design fit well with the situation that basically occurred to the world. So good on you guys for having that foresight to have that design set up for all those that would need your services. Now, you guys are doing great work right now. We see it all the time here in Central Florida. What is on the horizon for the Florida CFO Group?
Well, we just want to get better. As we get together and strategize what our future is going to be like, we've kind of agreed as a group to just grow organically as the needs for our services develop, and as talented CFOs learn about us. We're not proactively trying to get to a number, but if there's a CFO that hears about us and likes what we do, we'll put them through a process where if they are someone who's going to elevate the quality of our group, we'll welcome them as a partner. And as such, we've grown in the past 2 years from 12 partners to 23 partners. I think our mindset is, if we find a good athlete, we'll add them to the team. We're all about just providing the best services to our small and mid-sized businesses. So there's no specific target for growth for the future other than let's just keep helping each other, help clients get better at what we do, and provide a great experience for those who engage us, and also for the partners themselves.
Absolutely, Phil. You know, I just know that it's a welcoming and an opportunity to have you all, the Florida CFO Group, available here in Florida, and we hope to have you cascade this throughout the nation as well. So kudos to everything you're doing, growing from 12 to 22, 23, and soon hopefully be at 50 and hit that triple digit in the near future. So Phil, let's transition and talk a little bit about leadership. Yourself, what professional development areas do you work on, Phil, to improve your capabilities as a leader?
That's a great question, Vince, because I don't think you ever stop growing as a leader. For me, it's mostly learned by doing. What I love about being a fractional CFO is I get to be on 4, 5, 6 leadership teams at a time. And with each experience, I take away something from observing the leaders and my C-level colleagues in the businesses, of just learning new tricks and tactics to add to my game. I have learned also by reading. Blessed to have my daughter give me an Audible subscription last Christmas, and I say that because she might listen, and if Christmas is coming up, and I wouldn't mind a renewal. I like listening to leadership books as I commute around town. But I think by far the best way to learn is by working with leaders that you come across in your travels that you can extract pearls of wisdom from and see what the best fits into your game.
Now, Phil, you mentioned 30 years in CFO roles, financial roles. That's a whole lot of time. And Vince and I know what 30 years looks like in terms of service, right? Because it's been about 30 years since we served. But you must have gotten some great advice as you was growing up, and climbing the ladder corporately. And what are some of those advice that you would share with these new guys coming in? They got, their eyes are big and bright, and the future is just, something that they're appetizing for. And, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. So what advice would you share with them?
Well, Enrique, I'd like to share something that really influenced my thinking from a leadership perspective. I started off in the computer mainframe business, which in corporate headquarters, in the cutthroat world of you advance if you can deliver the results. Received some great management leadership training because the company had the resources to provide that. But I don't think I really understood what that meant until the glory days of our business ended. By the way, computer mainframe business was a great business in the early 80s, but these two disruptive young punks named Steve Jobs and Bill Gates had something to say about that. I went to cable TV in 1990. And I'll never forget, as I was searching for what my new career was going to be, the job interview I had to be a vice president of finance, a CFO, so to speak, for a group of acquired cable systems for Warner Cable in Western Ohio. And the president, the leader that was interviewing me, was a Navy veteran, and asked me my questions, and then it came my turn to ask him a question. I asked him, what are your expectations of your CFO? And I'll never forget his answer. By the way, his name is Bill Zerhut. I got to give him a shout out because I'm going to forward this to him. And Bill said to me, I just expect that we're there to catch each other when we fall. And I realized that, that, and I also experienced that kind of leadership is so empowering, especially as you get to the C level. You're all about performance as a team, and teams that have each other's back move forward a lot more quickly than those that have to watch your own back as they make progress. So I think what I would pass along to the younger generation is never forget it's a team sport, and the way you treat your teammates is going to be a powerful part of how your role and the success of the organization you're with. So catch each other when you fall, words to live by.
Definitely words to live by and operationalize, catch each other when you fall. It's great. Great pearls of wisdom, Phil. And definitely it is a team dynamic throughout thick and thin. No one's a solopreneur in this world, in a sense. We all need a team to survive and thrive. And when you get into these environments and the world comes at us hard, there's challenges, right? So how do you feel either handle the challenges you're currently facing or have faced in the past?
Well, this challenges is what makes you stronger, right? It's like when you go to the gym to pile on more weights, it's a challenge. That's how you grow. So I think it's the mindset that challenges are growth opportunities. The best way to work through them is surround yourself with people who can help you, who will have your back, who will catch you when you fall, if you can do that and you catch them when they fall, you have the help, because another famous quote from that the leader I told you about, Bill Zerhut, liked to say, "No one of us alone is as smart as all of us together." So don't take on challenges by yourself. Realize that we all have support systems and teammates we can rely on.
And I love, Phil, that you first mentioned that he was a Navy guy. So that was great. I love it. But you mentioned challenges. You mentioned overcoming challenges. That often infuses change within our environment and change for us to deal with. So how do you process change, and what do you do to strategize around change?
Well, first of all, I love change. In my corporate career, I've had the opportunity to help create brand new organizations in the computer business. When Burroughs bought Sperry, they took a bunch of us executives and put us on a corporate team. Says, we're going to create a new company. So change was the opportunity to create something that was the best of both worlds. And it changes progress. I mean, right? You don't make progress by standing still. So I think it's the mindset that changes how you get from where you are today to the vision of where you want to be. And having a strategy, having a plan, allocating your resources, be it time or money, in a way that's going to help you achieve that vision. That's all change management. You need to come up with the mindset that change is your friend.
Friend indeed, because that's reframing how people sometimes use that and view that as an obstacle. But this is, to your words, is opportunity, it's progress, it's looking at the vision to the future to make it where you're at today to go forward. So I definitely love all the pearls of wisdom, your great strategies coming forward and everything you're doing. So our listeners are so like, wow, how do I get a hold of this wonderful gentleman to help my small business or mid-sized business? Or if I'm a CFO, how do I join in? So how do they get a hold of you or the Florida CFO Group?
Well, one way you'll get my attention is through comments on the FESN YouTube channel or LinkedIn page. By the way, I just, if you don't mind me taking a quick digression to tell the FESN story. I had this vision when I was sitting around the Florida CFO Group conference table that the best way to get Orlando to discover who we are is to, if I can get my partners seen through digital content. And I created something called FESN, which intentionally sounds like ESPN because the vision was for it to be the ESPN for entrepreneurs. It stands for the Florida Entrepreneur Success Network. And whereas the Florida CFO Group is a select group that's a challenge to get in, anybody with something meaningful to say and could say it in a minute can do a meaningful minute video on for FESN. So find us on LinkedIn or YouTube, comment on the video or connect with me on LinkedIn. And that's the way you'll become part of this network of experts and entrepreneurs that like to help each other. But if you're interested in either as a CFO joining our group or as a small and mid-sized business owner taking advantage of our group, FloridaCFOGroup.com. On our website, you'll see the profiles of 23 partners. You can scroll the partner pages and connect with who you want to, or just click on the Ask a CFO button and send us some notes, and someone from our team will reach out to you.
Now that is wonderful, and we're going to make sure to have that information as part of the show notes so that everybody can contact you guys. And look, at Phil, it's been great talking to you. I love the work that you do. I love the way you guys have strategized around being able to basically farm yourself out for the person that needs you. And that's a great setup. And I hope that our listeners, if you are a small and mid-sized business, that you take advantage of that, because Phil brings 30 years, but imagine there's 20 plus partners here. That's a whole lot of years of experience that you can tap into, and you'll never go wrong. And if you are CFO, hey, get in there and try to qualify to be on the all-star team. For connecting with us and sending us information, the leadership void at gmail.com is where you'll email us any requests as far as leadership that you want to see, any comments on the show, anything that you want to see us cover concerning leadership. Hey, send it our way, and we'll be sure to address those. But Phil, today has been your day. We're happy that the Florida CFO Group is here and here to stay. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for your past service for our country.
Well, thanks again, Phil. And listen, it's to me, it's your purpose is because of your passion, right? So again, it's so great to hear that. And also, folks, what else we do is we also have a radio check. It's our way of getting back and listening to our brothers and sisters, either in the first responder community or military community, every 1st and the 15th at 1900, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, LinkedIn Live. So check us out there. It's just an opportunity, 15, 20, 30 minutes just to talk and sit around. And you know what? Because social isolation is real. We just want to give back. So radio check 1st and the 15, 1900, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. We're doing a subscription drive to reach our 200. Standing O by Scott McGregor is the book that you will be entering the drawing for. It's autographed, Lessons in Gratitude. Scott McGregor, a great, phenomenal veteran and guest as well. So help us reach our 200 subscribers at our Leadership Void channel on YouTube. Next week, we have an amazing guest as well. And we're celebrating a special birthday, which you'll hear all about it next week. And lastly, our podcast wouldn't be possible with our sponsor from the home team of Round Point Mortgage Service Corporation. Grateful to have some new swag because of them and some great things they're doing. So thank you for Round Point Mortgage Service Corporation for that. But again, today is all about Phil, as Enrique mentioned. Phil, thank you for your time and your service to our military and our community at large.
Thanks, Vince. Thanks, Enrique.